In the space of the astrological magic community, the individuals who are interested in astrological talismans, I've observed, tend to fall into one of two camps: practitioner A and practitioner B. Practitioner A is interested in astrological talismans and compelled to work with astrological talismans and these traditional forms of astrological magic. But there is some hesitancy there. Maybe they're interested in only working with one talisman or a couple talismans. Even after receiving the right kind of instruction or many different kinds of instruction, various different teachers, many different classes, still there can be that lack of confidence or some doubt in terms of, is this going to actually work? Is it going to be beneficial? I'm still a little bit afraid to take that leap because of what is said happens when one does that. But to be able to directly interface with this spirit so attached to 1/7 of reality, and the fact that many of the sources in the Western magical tradition, they're not complete. There isn't some unbroken stream of lineage or connection that exists for us to have a level of surety. And so there's the interest. So there's the interest and the love and the desire, but only really wants to engage with one or two talismans. Maybe the one of their ascendant lord. And with this, we see engaging with that of their ascendant lord, engaging with one of maybe their sect light, maybe the lord of a beneficial house in their chart. These are common recommendations, common things that I see. But then there's the other side of the spectrum, and that is those who are so enthralled and inspired by the knowledge. They really love the knowledge and the capacity of being able to crystallize these spirits of time and space in a talisman. And they see that to put in all the effort, understanding the right materials, studying the old texts and the wisdoms of the masters from the past, forming the images that align with one's goals, and finding an election when the planet is in only the best of essential dignity. There's this genuine belief in this desire and want to experience the planet and its nature and its energy at the most heightened level of its expression that's maybe even possible to experience in the world. And that promise of what an astrological talisman is motivates them to wanting to have them all. I firmly fall in this camp for that reason, in this way. I think the proposition of it is quite beautiful. I think it's quite beautiful and really, frankly, quite enchanting. Though, how often is that actually attained? In practice, what is it like? And I've only had my experiences. But a major thing I learned by holding my event North Star that I put together with Hawk and Dira, I met a lot of people who were like me in this way, who really loved this idea of what it means to have one of every single kind of talisman. Because before then, haven't met too many individuals in person. Yes, we meet online. Yes, we talk. And, we've been able to share similar experiences and bond in that way. But something that does come up and that I really resonated with was meeting people who have one of every kind of talisman. Maybe multiple kinds of specific planets, maybe based off a certain part of their chart. And there is this feeling of being stuck. There is this feeling of inertia that gets created by swimming in this bath of celestial influence that one isn't as magically equipped to handle. And I came to astrology and astrological magic more from the magic side, more from the practical applications of contemplations, engagings with grimoire texts, trying to apply the wisdom. It hasn't always been easy, and it is very challenging at times to understand if something is truly turning out for the better. Though I would certainly say that when I look at what my experience was the first 4.5 years I was doing this to the second 4.5 years I have been doing this, I have certainly and have continually met more people and more individuals who are actively practicing in this way, really a bit more of an extreme. And depending on your perspective, either heroic or foolish, even if there may not be a right way and a wrong way, there certainly seems to be a better way to engage in these practices, which is exactly why at the beginning of this year, I'm launching the Unsealing. I'm making this offering that I am, and it really is geared for those who want to cut to the front of the line of the whole situation, wanting to get rid of the question of, oh, are these talismans sort of like proven to work to the best of probably how you can ever tell if they work or not? Or at least I would argue that case. I think you could make a good argument. There's no such thing as a perfect election. There's no such thing as a perfect talisman. But we can distill it down to a certain set of repeatable principles. And then besides the talismans, there's that knowledge of how do you actually put this into practice? The knowledge and wisdom that comes from experience, living a life mediated by these forces of nature, these forces of magic. And so that's why they're paired together. For too long, I've seen people struggle with not knowing how to apply the talismans that they have, as well as spend a lot of time and effort either learning how to make talismans and it not really working out for them, or buying talismans from a variety of people and then it not really coming together. And so this is an attempt and a first attempt to help remedy that situation.